What are you doing?
The film opens in the year 1959 within the oppressive confines of a Burmese prison, where Martin Tillman, a hardened inmate of Irish descent, finds himself at the mercy of a brutal regime. The atmosphere is thick with tension as two soldiers approach him under Steiner's orders, a merciless German fugitive who has built an empire defined by cruelty and violence. Martin is dragged to a filthy pond, the venue for a grotesque fighting competition orchestrated by Steiner. His opponent, desperate for freedom, has been promised victory over Martin in exchange for his release. As the battle commences, Steiner watches with cold detachment, viewing the fighters merely as expendable pawns in his twisted game. He signals to Rothstein Yak, his sadistic enforcer, who without hesitation executes Martin's opponent, a grim reminder that survival hinges on obedience. After the brutal display, Martin is escorted back to his cell, his reputation as the strongest fighter in the camp beginning to take root. On their way back, Martin and the guards encounter Isabel, a local villager. When the guards begin to harass her, Martin's fury ignites. He retaliates with a fierce headbutt against one guard but is swiftly overpowered by another. Later, to his astonishment, Martin discovers that Isabel has come to the camp to deliver flowers to Steiner, an act steeped in a complex loyalty tied to her past. Despite his status as a convict, Isabel shows compassion towards Martin, recognizing the humanity within him. Meanwhile, Steiner is confronted by Harrison, a British agent demanding Martin's release. Harrison reveals that Martin is a fugitive wanted in England for violent crimes linked to his turbulent history. However, Steiner, who profits immensely from Martin's participation in the fights, dismisses Harrison's demands, feigning ignorance about Martin's existence. After contemplating Harrison's proposal, Steiner calls Martin in and informs him that he is free to go, fearful of potential repercussions from the British authorities. Upon his release, Martin wanders aimlessly until he stumbles upon a bar owned by Valentine, Isabel's adoptive father. Valentine, a warm-hearted yet pragmatic man, welcomes him and offers him a job as a bouncer. For the first time in years, Martin begins to feel a sense of peace and normalcy returning to his life. His bond with Isabel deepens as they grow closer amidst this newfound stability. However, this tranquility proves fleeting. One fateful night, a dispute among patrons escalates into chaos. At Valentine's urging, Martin steps in to quell the violence with swift and brutal efficiency, leaving several men battered on the floor.
Listen.
This display reignites the interest of Steiner's men. The following day, Boone and Rothstein Yak confront Martin at the bar, revealing that one of the men he injured was one of Steiner's prized fighters, now left crippled. They demand that Martin take his place in the underground matches. Faced with Rothstein Yak's threat to destroy Valentine's livelihood if he refuses, Martin reluctantly agrees to fight once more. Back in Steiner's blood-soaked arena, He faces a relentless series of opponents as the crowd bets wildly and Steiner's coffers swell with ill-gotten gains.
Let's go, boys. Come on.
Despite the monetary rewards from Steiner for his victories, Martin is resolute in his desire not to become a permanent fixture in this brutal world. Meanwhile, Valentine learns from Harrison about Martin's dark past, his status as a wanted man in England for exacting bloody revenge on those responsible for his family's tragic demise. As Martin grapples with his choices and the haunting shadows of his past, the cycle of violence threatens to ensnare him once again. Despite the considerable bounty on his head, Valentine remains steadfast in his loyalty to Martin, refusing to betray him. However, Steiner continues to manipulate Martin, luring him into a web of violence. He offers Martin more fights, and when Martin agrees to one final match in hopes of earning enough money to escape with Isabel, Steiner reveals his true intentions. He demands that Martin throw the fight. Reluctantly, Martin acquiesces, but this fateful decision leads to catastrophic consequences. In a twisted turn of events, Steiner and his men approach Valentine, urging him to place a bet on Martin's success in the fight, wagering his bar as collateral. However, when Martin deliberately loses the match, Valentine's dreams are shattered, leaving him devastated and ruined. This betrayal opens the door for Rastignac, who seizes the opportunity to claim Valentine's bar for Amarillo. Their cruelty unabated as they disregard Isabel's protests. When Amarillo strikes her, Valentine's rage erupts, and he pulls out a gun in defense of Isabel. In a cold and calculated move, Rastignac snatches the weapon from Valentine and mercilessly kills both Valentine and Isabel just moments before Martin arrives on the scene. As Martin approaches, Rastignac turns the gun on him as well. Believed to be dead, Martin and Isabel are buried in a shallow grave. Yet fate has other plans. Martin claws his way back to life from beneath the earth, bloodied but alive. Meanwhile, Isabel clings to existence and is rescued by local villagers. Leaving her in their care, Martin is consumed by a thirst for vengeance. He retreats into the wilderness, where he trains day and night, honing his body and mind into a lethal weapon. When he finally returns, he is a ghost of retribution. He storms into Valentine's former bar, now under the control of Steiner's men, and systematically annihilates them one by one. His strikes are brutal, driven by vengeance rather than mere survival. Amarillo barely escapes the carnage and rushes to warn Steiner of Martin's return. In a desperate attempt to secure Steiner's amassed wealth, Amarillo is intercepted by Martin. In a fierce shootout, Martin takes down Amarillo's guards and inflicts a wound on Amarillo himself before hurling a grenade into the cash reserves, obliterating Steiner's fortune. Martin refuses to profit from blood money, his singular focus is revenge. Infiltrating Steiner's office, Martin carves through waves of armed guards with precision and relentless gunfire. At last, he confronts Steiner. Rejecting the use of a firearm, Martin plunges a blade into Steiner's stomach, delivering a coldly calculated death to the tyrant. But his quest for vengeance remains unfulfilled. Boone enters the fray, challenging Martin to a barehanded duel. After a fierce struggle, Martin seizes a nearby gun and kills Boone in a moment of sheer survival instinct. Rastignac flees into the wilderness, gathering men and weapons for a final confrontation. But Martin cuts through them with merciless determination. Exhausted but resolute, Rastignac faces Martin in a brutal hand-to-hand brawl. He resorts to using a knife in a desperate attempt to gain the upper hand but ultimately finds himself overpowered by Martin's relentless assault. With crushing blows, Martin breaks him down before using Rastignac's own blade to deliver vengeance for Valentine's death, ensuring that justice is served at last. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a wonderful day.